I'm Scott L. Miller. It's the 6th of June, 2023. This is my vlog of daily life living in Leon, Nicaragua, and today is the 499th anniversary of the city of Leon. That means we are celebrating with the Hipico. That is the big horse parade. It comes right through the city, and we're going to take you along with us as we go to see it. We'll get to it right after the bump. The Hipico is a Leon tradition, not just the city of Leon, but the region of Leon as well, and really most of Nicaragua. This is part of its Spanish colonial heritage, and in Andalusia, back in Spain, we had a lot of similar Hipicos, and they are common throughout Latin America, but in Nicaragua, they are especially strong. We have a very strong cowboy culture, we have a very strong cattle culture, we have a very strong connection to our colonial heritage here, and as such, the Hipico is a really important part of all things Nicaragua. Here in Leon, the Hipico is a truly epic event. It's an all-day activity, and really it takes all weekend. Mostly, the city starts by shutting down the streets and everybody takes the day off. Of course, it's Sunday that it actually happens. We're doing this video early because it actually took place on the 11th, but I wanted to record it and get it out to you guys as quickly as possible. So I'm actually recording this intro on the 12th, we're editing, and you should be seeing it on the 13th, which is as fast as I could reasonably get the footage to you, because there's just so much to edit. But so on the 11th, we actually attended this. So the way it works is the city shuts down, it's a Sunday. Everybody goes out and finds a place to park themselves somewhere along the route, which is a very long route winding through the city. So there are countless bars and restaurants and different venues that put chairs out on the street, erect special observation decks, all kinds of terraces show up around the city. It's really, really interesting. The big liquor companies like Flor de Caña and Toña show up and put up big displays. All kinds of things are going on. And everyone goes out, does live music all over the city. People buy tickets to get into different locations so you get the best views, and you spend most of the day starting around noonish. You will hang out, and like we did, we went to Gecko's, hung out with our friends Franklin and Ave Mael as they performed there. They were the live band at Gecko's, which is one of the big bars in town. We were there for many hours, and then between 3 and 5 o'clock, the actual parade itself begins and winds through the city. And this is big horses and actual cowboys and people representing different ranches and so forth, coming out and riding through the city, showing off their dancing horses, showing off their farm or their finca or whatever. Plus there's floats, like it's a real parade. So like Toña has its own float with the Toña girls dancing on it. That's a big popular thing for people to go see. Toña's sponsoring a lot of the terraces erected around the city. A lot of streets are shut down. Whole thing really, really interesting. And we had a good time. We walked through it. We actually did quite a bit of walking. If you want to watch a whole bunch of it, we actually recorded a 360 for about 17 to 18 minutes walking the parade route. So you can hop over to our sister channel, Nicaragua 360, and pretty soon, in about 4 or 5 days, there's going to be a 360 video that you can watch there, and you can follow along and look all over the parade route and get different views and get a feel and actually hear everything that's going on. On this channel, we can't play the music that's actually being played, but on Nicaragua 360 we generally can, so you'll get the actual sounds of the parade over there. Here we're just going to show you what it looked like, but very interesting, really cool, neat to see so many people come out. Like, it is a very popular event. People are excited to be out there and involved in it. Like, everyone gets dressed up, and one of the big things is going out and getting a hat. This is the big cowboy event. So as you can imagine, Western wear becomes a much bigger thing at this time of year. Now, this is Nicaragua, so cowboy gear, cowboy hats, cowboy boots, the whole look is normal. You could wear it anytime and be completely transparent. No one's gonna be like, whoa, what a weird way to dress. Just like in the American South, just like in Mexico, this whole region has real cowboys. And so you will find that here, but it's not a big thing every day. On the Hipico, it is very popular. They suddenly in the morning, people show up and they have hundreds of hats. These people just walk in the streets, huge piles of hats, and like this, and they'll have lots of different styles, lots of different colors, but they're all very Western, and they're mostly made in Mexico, like this one. And they will just go through the streets, and you can, as you're going through the parade route or getting ready for the parade, you can just stop them and buy a hat on the street. They'll let you try tons on. It's like a walking haberdasher. It's very interesting that they do this, and there's so many people. So I filmed a little bit of that, of us buying hats, and so now I have this one. This is an authentic Mexican cowboy hat, so that's part of the experience. People are doing that all day. Everyone's dressed up in very either cowboy or club gear, pretty much. Very hot day today. We had just the tiniest bit of sprinkle, a little bit of cloud. Basically, it was a very humid, hot day, which is a little bit rough for the Hipico, but it went pretty well. So it was really interesting to walk the parade route and get to see that. After the parade, we actually hosted a pretty large after party here at our house. Now, for some people, it was come to the house and do the after party, so we had a number of people who just lounged all evening and hung out. The official big event that the Hipico ends with is a rodeo, or rodeo as it's actually called, and that is held up at the old, or the current, baseball stadium, not the new one being constructed, but the Heroes and Martyrs up in the north side of the city. So the parade goes to there, and then there's a full rodeo in the evening, which some people we know attended, and they said not the most exciting thing. The bull riding was not the best. It was bulls 5, riders 0. The best rider made it a total of 4 seconds, which is quite a bit shy of what you're trying to do, but it is interesting that they have a rodeo here. They also said that they allowed the crowd out into the rodeo itself at some point, and the bulls had quite a lot of fun running through everybody. Not sure why that's a thing, but not something I would recommend doing per se. But we then had a party that went until midnight. We had a load of people. We had lots of people playing live music and filled our outdoor space and had a really nice time. And the dogs just discovered something that attacked them in the weeds. I need to go check it out. For anyone who is bringing dogs to Nicaragua, if you have not lived in the American South, if you've not lived in Mexico, you need to be aware that there are a lot of toads that are actually quite dangerous to dogs. And so be aware that if you're going to have dogs here and you see toads, you have to keep them apart. My dogs just found a toad in our backyard. And I'm going to have to keep an eye on them to make sure they don't get near it again, and I'm going to have to find a way to get it out of our yard. Like, we can't have that here. I don't know what kind of toad it is, and it's not worth the risk. Frogs are fine here, but toads are not, and you have to be really aware that they can be quite dangerous. So overall, our day was pretty exciting. It was really neat to go out and do that. I have been here for the Hipico previously, but I've never gone out and done the Hipico. So doing all of those events was a really neat change of pace. It was fun and very different. We don't normally do events on a Sunday where we take the entire day off and do stuff like that. So going out and doing the live music, doing the fair, having the after party, it was fantastic. It really was interesting and exciting, and a really nice day. I do kind of wish I'd gone to the rodeo just so I could film it for you guys. I'm going to do my best to get one of those in the future, so we can show that as well. But heard that we didn't miss too much. There's a rumor that the rodeo may go on longer in the week. If so, I'm going to try to get out and potentially make it to that, because just something interesting to show about things to do here. But if you're one of those people who is wondering what is there to do in Nicaragua, because that has come up, one of the things we don't mention too often is that there are so many parades. I mean, we don't mention it when we're talking about things to do. We talk about parades here quite often because we get involved with them, and I film them, and they happen, right? So you're in the middle of them. But parades and processions are an activity that people go out and do, and this one, being the Hipico, is very different than normal ones. And even if you don't like parades in general, you may like horses, you may like rodeos, and so having this all-day like live music thing with people partying on the streets, and then this horse show parade is interesting if that's something that you're into. And then the rodeo could be something that you're into, and of course there's bands playing all over town with that, and then of course you can host parties yourself. So this is a great example of stuff that we would never do in the United States. It would never really come
come up as an activity, and yet here in Nicaragua, it's a lot of fun and people do it, and it's something that comes up on a regular basis. We did the one in Leon proper, but coming up in a week, there's going to be one in Nagarote, which I'm told is even bigger than the one here, Nagarote being kind of a cowboy town rather than Leon, which is a big university city. Yes, this is a much bigger center of population, but Nagarote, it applies much more, it's just much more applicable to the population there. So maybe we'll get out and get some of that as well. That would be fun. That's next Sunday. So we will see if we're able to get out and do that. But it was a cool day. And thanks for coming along and enjoying it with us. If you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee at link above, buymeacoffee.com/Scott Allen Miller. If you're looking for any assistance, any information on moving to Nicaragua, shoot us an email, info@relocatenicaragua.com. We have packages for people who just need information, need help finding a house, need anything. You need tours of the country. We offer whatever you need. As always, like, subscribe, share on social media, post the link somewhere, tell your friends, and I will see all of you tomorrow.